I'm going to be exploring the prophets of Israel, or at least a few of them. You've got the major prophets and the minor prophets, and there'll be too many to cover in the next few months. But I have a few slides. And the prophets of Israel. The word prophet is used over 300 times in the Old Testament. And what surprised me is used 125 times in the New Testament. Prophecy and prophets remain a live reality in the New Testament story as much as the Old. Prophets were there from the early days, but were particularly crystallized in the story of Moses and Aaron and Miriam, that story of liberation from the slavery and oppression of Egypt. They were close to God. They were full of honesty and integrity. They spoke out, sometimes at great cost. And yes, there was an element of both revealing the present but also revealing the future. We tend at times to think of prophecy as predicting, but this wasn't some magic crystal ball that made everything clear. It was seeing the signs of the times and listening to God speaking into those times and what the consequences were likely to be. And yet there was always a call to repentance, to change, because the future could be changed as well. Well, the next slide just reminds us that there were women prophets. This was a very patriarchal society, and all the books of the prophets are named men. But there were prophets too. We just don't hear much about them. There was Miriam, and we do hear the song of Miriam following the liberation from Egypt. There's Deborah and Huldah, that's a new one to me, and Noadiah, and also the wife of Isaiah, but we do not know her name. We're going to focus today on Nathan. The next slide. And we don't know a great deal about Nathan either, but a little of his story is told in the second book of Samuel. He was, in a sense, a professional prophet. He was part of the royal court. The story we're going to hear today is where he confronts David. The next slide. The great King David, has seen Bathsheba bathing and wants Bathsheba for himself and summons her. And exactly what happened, whether it was consensual or not, there is debate. In the past, many would say, Bathsheba led David on. She seduced him. Today, I think we see things slightly differently, and it has all the feel of a non-consensual dominating. The king, if the king summons you, he has your life or death in his hands. David and Bathsheba. And Bathsheba becomes pregnant. David slightly panics and tells Uriah to come back from the front and to have time with his wife. But Uriah will not, as he's on service in the military. He will abstain from all intercourse during this time. And so David eventually thinks to himself, well, the only way is to get rid of Uriah. So he sends him to the most dangerous point in the front, and Uriah is killed in battle. the next slide. Oh, one back, yes. That just tells the story in 4 pictures. Seeing Bathsheba, taking Bathsheba, sending Uriah to the front, and now Nathan confronts David.